where does Justin Fields end up playing? Now, I don't know if you saw there was a report today that the Bears are leaning towards trading the first overall pick. How much of that is smoke this time of year versus not? I mean, it's convenient that it came out the week of the combine. I don't put too much stock into that right now because there's a lot that can happen between now and the draft. We still got 2 months,
Yeah.
but I think it's probably likely that Fields leaves. Do you feel the same way, Jake?
I think it would be in everybody's best interest that he does. I mean, I can't say for certain that that will happen, but it just feels like 5 different combinations of coaching staffs in one city for a young quarterback is not the way to establish confidence. So, like,
Hmm.
obviously, it's going to be a different coaching staff regardless this year, no matter what happens with him. But like, give him a fresh start in a new locale, please. And then, yeah, Bears would be wise, whether they trade him and then take Caleb Williams, or I even saw somebody posit that they trade Justin Fields and then trade down a pick or two to get,
Hmm.
the second quarterback that might be there. I don't
Right.
care. Whatever. But I do want Justin Fields out of there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, of all these predicted landing spots, Jake, which one of these is for fantasy value the most intriguing for you? So you got Atlanta,
Atlanta.
Pittsburgh, Vegas, and Denver listed here.
Yeah. I
Definitely
think
Atlanta.
Atlanta. I think Atlanta is the way to. Now that Arthur Smith is gone, and we'll talk about him in a little bit more detail later on, but now that Arthur
Hmm.
Smith is gone, if you just are purely looking at a weapon standpoint for him on the offense, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, that's pretty great.
Hmm.
Now, if he goes to Pittsburgh, he has to go with Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator there. As an OC, maybe it'll be different. So
I
that's
think
my.
we can all agree that Pittsburgh would be the worst landing spot of all of these.
I actually think from a short-term perspective, it could be okay. It could be okay.
Really?
Yes.
I,
Like for this year, for 2024, I think I'd rather have him in Pittsburgh than in Vegas. From a long-term perspective, I'd rather have him in Vegas because young coach who just got promoted, halfway through
mhm.
last year. They've kind of retained that staff. They do have Luke Getsy as their offensive coordinator in Vegas, which would be a maybe unfortunate reunion. I don't know. And then Denver, I just don't want him to go to Denver because Sean Payton sucks. I don't think any quarterback should be subjected to Sean Payton, and I think Sean Payton can only deal with a rookie at this stage in his career.
Yeah, but I Denver's intriguing just because they've got wide receivers. They've invested. They have first round picks in that
Mm-hmm.
offense with
Sure.
the wide receivers. You've got a solid defense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, solid, questionable. It picked up towards the end of the year, but
Yes.
you got a running game. You don't have to rely on Fields to do everything. So I think Denver would be intriguing. But yeah, I mean, we've really only seen Sean Payton work with Drew Brees and make it work so far. So it would be, I question whether he can work with a running quarterback in Fields or someone that does like to run like Fields, where Brees was obviously a pocket passer. Russell in his advanced age, is more of a pocket passer at this point of
Yep.
his career than a scrambler like he was early. So can Sean Payton actually work with a running quarterback? I don't know. We haven't seen it, So I do question that, but I think the weapons there are intriguing.
They're intriguing to an extent. Like Cortland Sutton, I like. Jerry Judy just disappeared off the face of the earth
Uh,
last year. Was that a Russell thing or was that a Jerry Judy thing? I don't know.
hmm.
Or was it a Sean Payton thing? It's just like
Right.
I don't really think that we should be scheming up plays for you or put you in great situations. Marvin Mims is an
Hmm.
interesting guy for Field specifically. I think that would be the thing that would get me really excited about Marvin Mims again, is if Justin Fields does go to Denver, because I think he could have that connection with him. Not saying it would be like Darnell Mooney exactly from his earlier years
Hmm.
when Mooney was kind of the number one, but there could be flashes of that at least. But personally, I would prefer the Falcons for both the
Hmm.
short and the long term. That would be
Obviously.
ideal. but who knows?
obviously you get
Yeah.
that young core. I mean, you have to pay Justin Fields his 5th-year extension here, uh,
Mhm.
but you'd have a nice young core of talent on that offense,
Yeah.
which would be incredible. Hopefully, Atlanta maybe spends some draft capital this year on some offensive line help. Although, RIP, they're going to be cutting Jonnu Smith.
Well,
It gets
there
rid of one of those.
goes all of the blocking,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I
What?
honestly don't even know if Jonnu Smith was that good of a blocker for the Falcons last year. Truly
Yeah.
don't.
It just opens things up for Pitts a little bit more. What about? I don't think this would ever happen, but what about New England?
I've thought about it, and it would be so catastrophic, I think, for his long-term value. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because we talked about it a little bit on the coaching episode of the new coaches that got
Right.
hired. And like the Gerard Mayo promotion is so befuddling to me because it just indicates that they're probably going to be more of the same and
Mm-hmm.
like how they approach it as a team. And that's not good for a quarterback. You don't, somebody who has that level of value, it's just going to be a sharp decline in dynasty. I think you want somebody like if Russell Wilson goes over to the Patriots, fine, because it's basically where his value already is, which is just
Mm-hmm.
kind of this unknown thing. But Justin Fields is not an unknown thing for fantasy, so that would hurt. What do you would you like that?
No, I would hate
Okay.
that. I think it'd be awful for him, and the Patriots, because they're just not built to have a running quarterback. Let's be honest. Like you said, it's just kind of
Mm,
more of the same.
yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, Bailey Zappi. Oh, I'm blanking on
Mac
the actual starter. Yeah, Mac
Mac
Jones.
attack.
Good lord, that just tells you how great he is.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them are speedsters. So,
Well, sure.
mm, what about Washington?
Do I want him to be paired with Dan Quinn? Probably not. And
But they've got
it's
again,
another
they've got interesting offensive pieces there.
interesting is the right word. I don't know that I would say great, but
No, I
interesting
didn't
is
say great. I said interesting.
yeah. But that again, like I don't know that the Terry McLaurin is not enough of a draw for me
Hmm.
because it's Terry McLaurin and then who is beyond him? A lot of interesting pieces, but nothing
Jahan
that's
Dotson.
established at all. Again,
I remember when he was a thing.
I want him to be a thing still, but I don't think that that's going to happen. Going there with a respectable-ish running game, sure. There are some good pieces both on the offensive and defensive side of the trenches, at least, to make it easier. It's better than New England. That's as much as I can say about
Yeah,
Washington. It's
I
better
think
than New
that's
England.
enough. I think that's
Yeah.
enough.